is?
Yeah, it's actually I have three separate companies. One started back in 2010, which is a new Outlook Counseling Services, um, mostly outpatient, individual, family, child, mental health, substance abuse counseling. Um, we had 6 or 7 offices throughout Denver, and decided to conglomerate them and put them into one location. That's when I started a new Outlook Recovery Services along with Colorado TMS Services back in 2019, which is intensive outpatient along with some transcranial magnetic stimulation for severe depression, along with some of the outpatient counseling for families, individuals, mental health, and substance abuse. Um, so we opened in August of 2019. So it's been a little over 3 years. And 6 months after we opened, COVID hit. So it's been a little bit of a scramble for establishing our business and doing this whole Zoom thing. But we've been rolling with the punches and continued to do all the services that we originally started out doing. So we're loving it so far.
You feel treatment can be as potent, even virtually?
Oh, I don't believe so. It depends on the facilitator, especially for our demographic, the substance abuse or the mental health. Being in person is way more gratifying and more conducive to learning and being able to share. There's a lot of checking out or no video or issues with the Wi-Fi or whatever that come with that Zoom virtual session. I I just understand that there's a need to do the virtual, and it allows us to reach more people. It's just not as quite effective, I don't believe.
Since the pandemic hit, what has been the biggest substance issue that you've had to deal with? Not, I mean, as far as your clients, uh, you mentioned alcohol earlier. Is that the
Yeah, I think alcohol for sure is the number one. And then I would say marijuana, THC addiction would be the second. Being in Colorado, it's legal, it's decriminalized, it's normalized, but yet it still affects people and gets them to that dependent or abuse criteria, which is hard to wrap their heads around. But
it's hard to admit that they've become addicted to marijuana.
right, it is
That you might have a problem.
right. Yeah, people are being massively affected. The strength is way stronger. People are doing a higher concentration. They're doing it more because it is legal. Jobs aren't testing for it, or some jobs. So it's a free for all out there.
So, alcohol. What is or what do the clients believe? The people that are suffering, that are in their addictions with this alcohol. Is there a common thread?
Well, they mostly have tried to stop on their own and weren't able to. Then they have some sort of intervention, whether it be the wife or the husband needs them to change, or else, or a DUI, or some domestic disturbance, some health issues.
So
It's,
you're describing functioning alcoholism.
well, alcoholism is, there's no specific characteristic. It goes from this huge wide range of folks, and that functional alcoholism is still alcoholism. There doesn't mean that they're in the gutter and homeless. There's such a wide variety of alcoholism out there. Being from Littleton, Highlands Ranch, surrounding areas, Castle Rock, Lone Tree, it's lots of soccer moms or corporate fathers that are, or dads that are, doing well, taking care of their family, but this is still an issue for them.
Okay. So we met through Pier 1. Whenever we met, I was at Pier 1 as a client when you were a staff member.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go through Pier 1?
Did not go through Pier 1. I did go through Stout Street Foundation, which is a therapeutic community also. It was very similar to Pier 1, except that the women and the men were commingled. It wasn't separated. 130 of us, 2.5-year program. I did learn a whole lot about myself in there. And I haven't had to use or pick up since. That was in 2001.
What was your drug of choice?
I had 3 drugs of choice: cocaine, alcohol, and marijuana. That trifecta of
Having a good time?
Moonbase 1, I called it. And I know that today I can't go out and buy an ounce of marijuana. I could, but using that would be a short, slippery slope to destruction.
Because it's just the first step.
That's right.
Moonbase 1.
That's right. I would know what really works. It would be some rum 151 and a big old crack rock, and it would be living under bridges and stealing and helping people find the stuff I stole from them. And I don't want to do that no more.
So you feel that Stout Street helps you?
Stout Street helped me immensely. I owe my life to them. I did not graduate from there, but I did get what I needed, and I still have a number of close colleagues who graduated from there that are in the field, and they're helping people every day. Still, they're still in business and doing what they can.
So, and normally the series that I created is called Did Pier 1 Help You? And then I thought, okay, so we went to Stout Street, did Stout Street help you? But knowing the atmosphere of Pier 1, I think it is still, even though you were not a client, I think it is still a pertinent question to say, did Pier 1 help you? Because it's the environment there is it's supposed to be we're all in the same boat, right? That is what it's supposed to be in theory, right? You're just in a different stage in recovery if you're a staff member, but
Sure.
We're all in the same boat sailing together.
Yeah, I think it helped clarify that transformation can happen for anyone that wants to do the work, whether it be this day one orientation client or the client that's ready to graduate, 2 years later or whatever it is. And you know what, I was a hands-off staff member. I would let the peers run the program because that's what it is. It's called Peer One. Um, I would handle my business and um, do what I was supposed to do, and let the peers run the program. That's what the whole system was set up for. Um, I wasn't yelling at the clients and standing them down and giving them trims and all that. That's what the peers were for. So I believe I empowered the clients for change by not just being an asshole, um, an unneeded asshole. That wasn't what I was about. Um, and I know that it has changed over the years, um, but the premise of getting people out of prison or community corrections and holding them accountable and looking at their behaviors is a good thing. Um, I don't believe so. I think there's a softening of our society and the snowflakes. Um, there's a what they call our therapeutic benefits. That's what they were. They were TBs. They were for a reason, to give you something to work on, to figure out why this is happening. So I don't believe there was anything inhumane that happened there. Not during my time.
It does concern me though, because I know that I was in the same boat that you were with Stout Street. I technically am not a graduate of Pier One.
Mm.
4.5 years there,
Mm.
and I went back in front of the judge. I got revoked, sent back, and I went back in front of the judge, and the judge basically told me good job and gave me the rest of my sentence on probation.
Good.
Uh, but I know that regardless, there's a statistic somewhere that has me on the losing side of Pier One
Because you did not
I got
graduate.
kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I got sent back. I left in handcuffs. And I know a bunch of people like that whose lives are really good now.
Sure.
You know, and so I have a feeling that the statistics that are being used to justify Pier One aren't doing it justice. And I think the statistics that justify attack therapy aren't doing it justice. And I think they're doing these people a disservice unless they've decided to, I don't know, maybe Pier One's catering to a new class of addict. Maybe they're playing foo-foo addicts or something. I don't, you know what I mean? But the people that I was with, wouldn't have responded to that shit.
No.
You know?
They would have walked all
Yelling
over
at it
them.
was half the damn program. Yelling at people.
Right.
You know?
It was funny.
Yeah, it was getting people
Some
off
of it.
their square and teaching people to deal with it. Teach people to deal with it, you know? Not punch people in the mouth whenever you get screamed at.
Right. Well, I think the recidivism rate is one of those statistics you're talking about. And, you know, there's a slippery slope to all of that. But, you know, the fraud and the burglaries and the stealing and stuff like that comes with that addiction. Hopefully that's been changed after getting out or going back on a technical violation. They have learned that, oh man, I don't have to do that. I can still work. And if I want to smoke pot, I can. If I want to drink, I can. That's really a choice. But if they've learned anything about addiction, they probably shouldn't, which is, for me, I know that I can't do it. And I see lots of social media out there of some old clients that are, you know, showing their bongs and their buds and their beers, and you know, more power to them. I know that it's a quick road for me to destruction, so I don't do it. But
Yeah. They the statistics say that drug use across the board has kicked up since the pandemic,
mm-hmm.
and that's all of it. That's alcohol, weed, every damn thing, right? They became so efficient at growing weed that the price fell out of the bottom of weed, and now it's become unprofitable. And there's a bunch of dispensaries going under because they're not making a profit because it's $80 an ounce, $90 an ounce for medical grade marijuana.
Right?
So it's not
crazy.
Worth it. You have to grow warehouses full.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening is those big brothers are buying out those little shops, and they're going out of business. Yeah, that's tough.
But they say it's up across the board. Substance use is up across the board, and that. Well, okay, we've covered substance abuse. I gotta address this. What about the homeless situation? What have you seen with that? What's the cause of this?
I think people are used to that handout instead of getting a hand up. It's spoiled some people, this pandemic, where they get money or they believe that they're a victim, or the victim mentality. There are lots of resources out there, from what I understand, that yes, you've got to be patient and jump through hoops and have some rules if you're going to be living in a shelter or whatever. You've got to do some things, follow their rules, and if you can't, you need to find a medical provider that can help you with medications or something to help you be able to follow some rules. Homelessness is a tough thing. It is an epidemic out there. I know the Northwest is horrible, and Denver doesn't seem to be getting much better.